Hello and welcome to day 6 of the 12 Days of Christmas. I'm Sherry and this is
Tom!
And we're going to sing the verse for you right now. You ready?
On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese a-laying. All right. So today we start our time together with those variations over the last 2+ centuries of the 12 Days of Christmas. Most of the 22 different versions of the 12 Days of Christmas have geese a-laying, just like we sang just a moment ago, okay? But not all of them. A minor variation was found in both the 1875 and 1879 versions, which read geese laying instead of geese a-laying. Okay?
I like the a-laying.
You like
geese a-laying.
the very, very minor. And while the 1867 version doesn't say geese a-laying, it says ducks a-laying. Okay?
All right.
6 ducks a-laying. Okay?
Wonderful.
All right.
I've got some pretty interesting information
Please tell.
that I'd like to share about geese. Are you ready? All right. First of all, for all you grammar gurus out there, you know that you wouldn't say, look, there's a geese, right?
No.
No, you would not do that. If there's only one, it's a
goose.
More than one, they're
geese.
Exactly. And a goose is more properly the name for the female, while the male is referred to as the
gander. And since that's the case, I wonder if the store Gander Mountain or Gander Outdoors got its name from the...
So it's really talking about geese.
Yeah, like
anything for geese hunting.
Geese Mountain or Goose Mountain.
All right.
I don't know.
Maybe. Young ones before fledging are called goslings. This is really interesting. Did you know that the collective noun for a group of geese on the ground is a gaggle?
A gaggle. Okay.
Gaggle.
Gaggle? Yes, yes.
Gaggle.
Gaggle, okay.
That's goose, gander, goslings.
Gaggle. Yep, okay.
However, while the collective noun for a group of geese on the ground is a gaggle, when in flight, they are called a skein.
A skein.
A team or a wedge.
Yeah, that we're...
And when they're flying close together, they're called a plump.
When they're close together, okay. So there's nothing I like to feast on better than a plump goose.
That's a different meaning for the word plump. Dear.
Yes. Okay, all right.
All right, so while pigs oink and dogs woof, what do geese do?
They honk.
Yes, they honk.
Yes.
They honk while in flight to encourage other members of the flock to maintain a V formation.
Yeah, you've seen up in the sky. They kind of, it's kind of.
And to help communicate with one another.
Yeah. Okay. Now here's a question for you. We haven't had come up with the other days so far. Can you think of any famous sayings that mention geese? Okay. I've got some here. This is interesting.
Okay.
Have you ever heard someone say that they're going to have a gander at something?
Yes, I've heard that one.
Yeah, they're talking about a male goose, right? No, that's not what they're talking about. They're saying that they're going to examine something in detail. I'm going to take a gander at that. Okay. Another one. How about this one? What's sauce for the goose is soft for the gander. I've heard it this way. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah.
Okay.
And what that means that what's appropriate for the treatment of one person is equally appropriate for the treatment for somebody else. Okay. All right. Another one. Ever heard someone say, his goose is cooked?
Yes, I have heard that one.
Okay, that just means that they've suffered or about to suffer, right, some setback or misfortune. Your goose is cooked.
You're in trouble.
Yep, another one.
Let's try that next time we're upset with our kids. Your goose is cooked.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to scare them. Okay, how about this one? You silly goose.
Yeah, you silly goose.
Okay, that's another one. Referring to someone who's acting silly. Okay, another one. Do you remember the tale? This is a famous old fable, the goose that laid the golden egg.
Yes,
okay.
vaguely.
That fable brought about an idiom, a saying that goes like this: killing the goose that lays the golden eggs. And what that means is, that refers to any greed-motivated or unprofitable action that destroys or otherwise renders useless a favorable situation. All right? And this is another one. You've heard this before. Okay. Someone goes on a wild goose chase.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've heard
Which
that
means
one.
what? The idea there is that it's a waste of time. It's futile. It's a waste of effort right there. And then there's that other one. What is the name of that legendary old woman who wrote those nursery rhymes for kids?
Yes, and you're so good at nursery rhymes, you would know this.
Yes.
It was Mother Goose.
Mother Goose. Three French hens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Those are just some of the uses that the word goose or geese or gander, ways they've been absorbed into our language with different meanings. Kind of neat.
Fascinating.
Yeah. By the way, when we speak of goose, as I was putting this together, it reminded me of one of my favorite Christmas tales, and that is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. All right, because as you may recall, a goose, it's the main dish when Bob Cratchit and his family sit down together to eat their meager Christmas dinner. And if you remember, it's meager because that greedy, miserly, tight-fisted, stingy, avarice, selfish.
Okay, go on with what you're saying.
Ebenezer Scrooge did not pay Mr. Humbug, not Humgum.
No, I don't know what.
Okay. Scrooge didn't pay Mr. Cratchit, his bookkeeper, very well, so he couldn't afford, get this, a big, plump goose for his family for their Christmas dinner, and that is the right meaning of plump in that case.
All right, very good. All right, question for you. Do geese migrate?
Yeah.
If so, why? Do you know? Let me tell you.
Okay, do that.
First of all, what does migrate mean?
Yeah, what does migrate mean?
All right, so dictionary.com defines migrate as to pass periodically from one region or climate to another as certain birds, fishes, and animals. So, just like some people in Michigan migrate, they're snowbirds, so they head south for the winter and then come on back because they want to avoid the cold winter weather.
I know people like that.
Yeah, some geese head south for the same reason.
Yep.
In North America, the most common goose, according to Varmint Guard Wildlife Services, the most common goose in North America is the Canada goose.
Yeah, the Canada goose. Okay.
Canada geese don't always migrate, but when they do, they fly south from Canada in fall to overwinter throughout the continental U.S. In spring or early summer, they'll fly back north to Canada in order to breed and have
goslings.
Goslings, love that word, all right? The Canada geese that migrate do so 2 times a year.
Okay.
They do it in September or October. Canada geese fly south to their non-breeding sites to avoid the cold.
Okay.
And then they'll stay in their non-breeding sites all winter long.
Okay.
Geese remain in their non-breeding sites until late spring, like April, May, occasionally even early June.
Or summertime.
When they migrate north to their breeding sites. Migration flights usually begin at dusk.
Okay.
But you could see migrating geese at any time of the day. Look up for the Canada goose's distinctive V flying formation.
Not on the ceiling. Okay. Yep.
Not in the ceiling, you have to be outside. And finally, and this is key, okay, the Canada geese that migrate actually return to the exact nesting and overwintering locations every year.
That is neat.
In fact, migrating geese use various stop-off resting points as they travel, and these remain largely the same too. The geese that you see every spring or fall is probably the same geese that were around the year before. It's kind of, pretty cool that they always go the same path.
Come back to the same place. That is neat. Well, with those thoughts in mind, let's open up God's Word to the account of the birth of Jesus. Today we're going to be reading from Luke chapter 2, starting at verse number 1. And as this passage explains, Caesar has made a decree for a census to be taken. And we had a census in our country this year in 2020.
We did. We were counted. Did you fill out your census forms?
Let's
go online?
Okay. Likewise, everyone else, Joseph and Mary needed to be counted in this census. All right? We pick up the account in Luke chapter 2, verse number 1. Share a read for us.
All right. Now in those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that a census be taken of all the inhabited earth. This was the first census taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria, and everyone was on his way to register for the census, each to his own city. Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the city of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and family of David, in order to register along with Mary, who was engaged to him and was with child.
Okay, so we got those first 5 verses in that chapter, and then the very next verse we find that Mary gave birth to Jesus right there in Bethlehem.
While they were there, the days were completed for her to give birth, and she gave birth to her firstborn son. She wrapped him in cloths.
Yeah.
And laid him in a manger.
Now, as you read, in order for Joseph and Mary to get counted in the census, they had to travel to Bethlehem, and that was a trip of about 90 miles.
Wow.
And
It
that's
doesn't seem like a lot to us, but
no, that's quite a trek on foot.
yeah,
That's a long walk, all
especially
right?
pregnant
Yeah.
with child.
Yes, but what's too bad they couldn't fly like geese, all right? They wouldn't have that issue. After all, just like geese, they had to migrate, all right? And just like the Canada geese, wow, came out. The Canada geese that migrate actually return to that exact nesting and overwintering location every year. If a census took place more than one during Joseph and Mary's lifetime together, they would have had to travel to the same place to be counted. Hence our connection. Yes. You see, while migrate is defined as Sherry said, to pass periodically from one region or climate to another, as certain birds, fishes, and animals, it's also simply defined as this: to go from one country, region, or place to another. All right? Just like these geese migrate to the same place, Joseph and Mary had to migrate to the place of Bethlehem.
And when they did migrate to Bethlehem, that helped fulfill the scripture in the Old Testament prophecies that the baby would be born in Bethlehem.
That's right.
So God was fulfilling his plan through that, through the migration.
Absolutely.
All right. So another obvious connection between one of the gifts that my true love gave to me and the birth of Jesus Christ.
That's right.
I almost want to apologize for this day's rendition of day 6, but I hope that you enjoy it. We did this in one take, by the way.
We did.
It'll be really hard for you to believe we did it in one.
But you know what? Us, the Gamble family, having this singing together every week reminds me of that musical sitcom about a family like the Partridge Family. Remember that? Hello World's a song that we're singing.
Oh.
Come on, get happy.
Wow.
Woo!
All right. Let's see you tomorrow. Guys.
On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese a laying.
1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6!
5 gold rings.
4 calling birds,
3 French hens, 2 turtle doves,
and a partridge and a partridge.